And
Streaming this, Dev?
I am streaming this.
Okay, maybe I'll just host you then. Maybe that's what I'll do.
Go for it, my man.
All right, let's see here. Do you mind in the how can I
Yeah, I'll link it to you.
send me the link or something?
Hello. We are live. I did this poorly.
Welcome. We're as professional as always. This is Into the
Yes.
GeekDom, episode 13. We finally got him. We finally got the man on. I'm excited about this. One of my favorite streamers. SpaceCaptainSpace.
You are too kind, my friend.
Welcome on in. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate you guys being willing to see me and talk with me and stuff. It's really cool of you.
Yeah, it's great. And as you guys can see, we're not in his usual part of the spaceship.
Yeah.
It's true.
We're in the engine room.
I think that's working right there. Yeah, we're in the engine. This is what like the server room. This will be the engine.
Server room.
This is the server room where we gather all data about all possible outcomes of the near future and the hyperspace jumps that may occur or may not occur.
Too bad it doesn't know whether or not your Twitch is gonna work.
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
You can see that I've got this weird fuzzball here that Quantum is in. It's my quantum fuzzball. It sometimes exists and sometimes
space
doesn't.
dice.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuzzy dice.
Yeah.
Fuzzy space dice for the win.
So how are you tonight, Space?
I'm feeling really good, dude. I really appreciate you asking. Thank you very much. I'm feeling upbeat. I had a really busy weekend, but it was a really good weekend. Had some family in town and stuff. It was really good. It was positive. I'm feeling upbeat. Yeah.
You're
It's
always
kind of
the busy
the
man.
thing I needed. Yeah, dude. Life is so complicated.
Hey.
I thought life was busy before, but it just keeps spooling up, And the more stuff you try to do, the more busy it becomes.
Oh
so
yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Like I don't even have a kid yet, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm dreading the day where I finally have one.
I'm pretty sure. I mean,
no time as it is now.
Cause say,
Bro, yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Life gets infinitely more complicated when you're suddenly in charge of maintaining the life of little creatures that have no ability to do it themselves. You know what I mean? It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best thing in the world. It really is. It's cool because it's like you get to have this experience where your heart is on the outside of your body, right? Where you like suddenly there's like a mental health element to it where you can lose your mind in the stress of it, but in reality I think it's important to I think having kids does this thing where you lose an amount of self-worship that goes on, where you're hyper obsessed about you and what's going on with you and what's happening for you and whether or not things are going your way and this and that, and all of a sudden now you're forced to be selfless.
Yeah.
And it's like a skill that a lot of people, hopefully learn. Hopefully they pick it up from that.
I think some people just don't know how to do it, and it's fine as long as you know before you have one.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Know your limits. Right. Know your limits.
Yeah.
That's very, very important. But
sorry, Dev, what were you trying to say?
yeah. Sorry, bro.
I don't remember what I was trying to say.
All right, we'll just get into it, I guess then. So you go by SpaceCaptainSpace. What made you go with that? Are you like a big sci-fi fan, or just want something different?
Indeed, I am a huge. So I'm a fan of all the fandoms basically. Like I'm a fantasy fan, I'm a sci-fi fan, I'm a paranormal fan. I like all of that stuff. But I think when it came down to choosing a name, I wanted something that was, I don't know. I liked the idea of creating, and I'm still kind of working on getting this done. But I want to create a an identity of this. This galactic space traveler who's constantly on adventures, who in his downtime streams for fun, kind of a thing.
That's a great idea.
I actually like that.
Originally, where different. I'd create different backgrounds where I'm hiding inside a ventilation shaft of an alien ship, streaming while I wait for them to jump into hyperspace. Just random crap like that, And I was really inspired by the Spaceman Spiff. Character from Calvin and Hobbes. Did you ever read any Calvin and Hobbes comics?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Calvin has this alter ego called Spaceman Spiff, who lives in his imagination that's always crash landing on random alien environments and planets and getting into adventures, and he's always inside his head and over narrating every little thing, And I wanted something that was kind of reminiscent of that, where it's just random crazy space adventures, and so. Yeah, and that's where I found a whole bunch of royalty-free, what's the public domain,
Right.
old sci-fi movies, and I just break them into pieces. So all of my YouTube videos and stuff, I try to start with like the craziest scene I can find in a
Yeah.
in a sci-fi in an old sci-fi movie or something, you know.
You seem
And
to be with that. Like, even your raid clip.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Why,
Yeah, so
that's
that's kind of where
honestly
that
that's
comes from.
one of the reasons why I always loved your channel, because like I don't even know how to even get around to even doing that. Like, no
It's
idea.
fun. Yeah, I have a background in like video production and stuff, and so it's always just kind of like fun for me to just like find random stuff and try to turn it into things, you know. So like take the movie Alien or Aliens and or like what's the name of that one that I'm always pulling from? I can't believe. Oh, like Starship Troopers or something, you know.
Oh
Like,
God.
and you get those
Yeah,
propaganda
Starship
videos,
Troopers.
and it's so easy to just cut them. You know, like you cut them into something
Yeah.
that you want or that you can use, and just try to. So that was the idea about around SpaceCaptainSpace was this. It's a persona that I can.
I might
adopt,
have to talk
you know?
to you at some point
Yeah,
about,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
you just gave me an idea.
Perfect, man. Yeah. So you can, you know, the thing of, I think that's like my advice. And granted, I am by no means a professional streamer of any kind. But like the thing that I tend to enjoy most from the people that I watch on Twitch is number one, they have a very clear identity, right? Like they know who they are, they know what they're about. A lot of times they adopt a persona. You know, like I like this guy named Cobra. He's just super lighthearted and fun, and he adopts this like bro kind of like, whoa, this is just super fun kind of persona. You know, then there's the quintessential, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say his name on Twitch anymore, but you know, like the Dr. Disrespect or the Sheriff Eli or the you know, they get these
Or
characters
I
that they get
mean,
to
you
portray,
know,
Still good
you know.
example.
And then
any VTuber,
right, yeah. Well, and that's
Yeah.
the thing. You adopt a persona.
just
You can
just
then kind
saying.
of abandon your own, you know, your own insecure self, and you can kind
Exactly.
of just lean into this identity or this theme,
Lean.
which kind of pushes you through it, right? Yeah, yeah, lean. Yeah. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to create a persona that I could adopt, and then kind of just abandon my insecure normal self behind, and just kind of roll with like, oh yeah, you know, today we, you know, ran into a patrol of Garlaxians around 17 Prime, you know, and
That'd be so
you know,
great. I hope you
you
get
know,
around
you
to
just kind
doing
of roll
that for
with
your
it.
streams.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
Maybe if you're a big time developer, you'll be able to do that.
Yeah, hopefully with a little more free time on my hands, right? Yeah.
what's up, Yeti? How are you doing?
Hey Eddie. So, well, how about we get into a little bit of your background then? So, what
Oh
got
yeah.
you into gaming? What's your like earliest gaming memory?
Oh
Because
man.
you're probably around Deb's age at least. So you
Yeah.
probably go way back.
So, golly, let me think about what came first.
The chicken or the egg?
Really, well, that's the thing is like I think the very first, my very first gaming memories are of the original Nintendo Entertainment System, right?
Yeah.
By some weird miracle, my family bought one for Christmas, which is really weird because, you know, like it's really kind of out of the ordinary of like what my family's into. Like I come from, like my dad is very outdoorsman-y. He's an outdoorsman. He likes, you know, off-roading in his four-wheel drive vehicle. He likes hunting. He likes all of that kind of stuff. And so I was raised doing that stuff too, which is great. And then my mom is like a big sports fan. She's always like watching football games and stuff, which is this weird. Anyway, that's a weird thing about me. Is like my dad would be like cooking Chinese food in the kitchen, and my mom would be like watching a football game and screaming at the refs,
So it's
which is
almost like
which is
they're
awesome.
opposite
It
of
was
the
super
traditional
cool,
way.
yeah. And so it was cool that way. But my dad bought a Nintendo Entertainment System, like the original Nintendo, and we would play it together, right? And some of my favorite memories I have are my dad is this grizzly bear of a man. And,
Yes, Gwen. Hydration is
he,
key.
he would like be playing the original Super Mario Brothers, and he'd be playing and playing and playing, and I'd just be sitting next to him, just wide-eyed, trying to absorb everything that was happening. And you know, he'd get frustrated, he'd die, something had happened to him, and he'd like rage. He'd be like, oh, and he'd slam his hands down on the bed, and I'd like bounce 3 feet in the air, and kind of a thing, and would be like, "You can do it, Dad. Don't worry, you can do it." And he'd keep going and keep going, keep going. And so to finish that story up, he played the Super Mario Brothers from beginning to end, and when he beat Super Mario Brothers, he dropped the controller and he walked away from gaming forever. Like he never touched another game. That was the beginning and the end of his gaming experience.
Now,
so,
I swear my dad did the exact same thing.
hold on now.
Go ahead, Dev. Go ahead.
When you say he beat the game, okay,
mm-hmm.
are you talking about fully?
Fully
Or
the game. He beat the, that's
he went through. He went 1 through 8.
File.
He went through 1 through 8, and then 1 through 8 again.
So I don't know, like the original, like I don't know about additional, new game plus modes or any of that kind of stuff that's going on. But he went all the way to the end and rescued the princess, right? Like for the very end, he rescued the princess, and there was no saving. There are no save files. I mean, back then, excuse me, the only Nintendo game that had any kind of saving on it was, well, there were a couple actually, but the primary one everybody remembers was the original Legend of Zelda game, right?
Yep.
The gold cartridge Legend of Zelda game.
Yep.
It had a little watch battery inside of it. So technically the game cartridge never deactivated. It was constantly powered, which is how it maintained its save files, right? So you played the game cartridge, you'd slide it into your machine, and it would take over powering the cartridge, and you'd be playing, and then when your game was done, you would power the machine off, and then the game cartridge had a little battery inside, which would keep your game alive, running. So that was the only way for them to save. Yeah, that's the only way that they could save. And so, so like if you go to like a yard sale or something, and you come across a gold cartridge original Nintendo Legend of Zelda game, and if you put it in and it has their original save files, that like diligent little battery has been running since the early 80s, right? Has been powering that cartridge since the early 80s, which is pretty wild. And the scary thing is to replace those, but you can replace them if you pop the cartridge open. But if you pop it out, their save file's gone, right? It's gone forever. So anyway, so there is like a lifespan. But yeah, back then there was no save file. So it really was like he'd get home from work, we'd eat dinner, and then we'd sit down and I'd watch him play, or it'd be like a Saturday morning, and he would just start on level 1, stage 1, and then move his way through, and I would just sit next to him glued to it. And so, yeah, after he dropped the controller and was done with the game, I picked it up, and then around about that same time, my parents bought an old PC computer, like back when it was only in DOS mode, right? DOS mode.
Dang.
And my aunt gave me the game The Secret of Monkey Island.
I love it.
I was raised on original Nintendo and DOS mode Secret of Monkey Island stuff. So that's where like a lot of my personal opinions about gaming come from, is like it's got to be clever, it's got to be funny, it's got to be something nobody's seen before, And so like The Secret of Monkey Island kind of, I think it's who I am as a person. Is attributed can be attributed to The Secret of Monkey Island, Yeah.
It's fair.
Yeah, but that's kind of where my roots come from, or got started at least. Yeah.
I remember for me, like it was definitely DOSBox as well. It was a big one, and I played pretty much. I used to play every like Sierra game that came out as a kid.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I was a huge Sierra gamer.
The old Sierra games.
I probably shouldn't have been for some of them.
Yeah, there are some that I was surprised.
Probably not.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I played all that stuff. Like Tim Schafer is like my idol when it comes to game development and stuff, and he was like one of the main writers for the Secret of Monkey Island games, and Day of the Tentacle and Full Throttle and all that stuff. I played all of those. The old I played all that stuff. The point-and-click adventure games.
And that.
Yeah.
So, what got you into? Sorry, go ahead, Deb. Actually, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I was gonna kind of use what he just said as a segue.
Sure.
You're talking about game developing and your passion and whatnot. You're actually making a game, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. miraculously.
So how did that
Miraculously.
start?
Yeah. So.
See? Segue, Mike.
Yeah. The. So yeah, I'm making a game. It's called Orbitals. It's a. Um, it's a work in progress that we're currently working on right now. We've been lucky enough to have been accepted into PAX East in the PAX Rising showcase, which is just like a dream come true. We uh, we like this came exactly when we needed it to happen. So yeah, we're making a game called Orbitals. It's awesome. I don't know. Am I allowed to like link you stuff for it or anything
Yeah.
like that? Yeah. Let me see
I
here.
think
Actually, yeah, I don't know if Dev has permissions in yet. Let's see.
uh I think if Gwen's in chat, she can give you permission. I just to be on the safe side,
Oh yeah, right on. Let's see.
really don't want Space Captain Space getting timed out.
That's all right.
That would
So
be
like,
horrible.
so what made you want to finally like, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend the time and get this out of there.
You know, it was it's crazy. So I don't know if I may spin you a yarn, if I may
Go
tell you
for
a
it.
tale,
Go right ahead.
right? Uh, the so back in 20, well, okay, so basically, my friends and I have been dreaming of being video game developers for a long, long time, right? For years, since we were
Right.
kids, right? And my really good friend Dave, who is like our tech lead and lead programmer, he actually back in the day when I was just playing video games, he's like a certified genius, you know, and he was actually making he made a game called Air Taxi for the Amiga, which is currently held in like one of the best multiplayer games for the Amiga made, kind of a thing. He made a game called Air Taxi, and like we've always talked about making a game together and doing different things. And I was collaborating with my friend Nick, who is also on the project with Orbitals. We've been, you know, back in like 2005, we finally sat down and we're like, let's really work some stuff out. And you know, I filled like a Google Doc with like 15 game ideas, and we worked on like 5 of them really in depth and kind of built some things out. And we got really close to this making this game called Mojo Dojo for a while. Um,
Yeah,
and it was kind of happening, but it wasn't happening. And I was a school teacher at the time. I taught second grade for years, and
Oh wow.
yeah, and so you know, we kind of just went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then via a bunch of weird business things that ended up happening, Nick and Dave both ended up with a good chunk of time on their hands, and they started just kind of prototyping some ideas out, some different things, trying to figure out what they could learn utilizing this program called Unity as a platform. And they kind of just were messing around with some ideas and things. And then summertime rolled around, and I said, well, let's do this for real. Like as a school teacher, I had my I had summer vacations off of work. And I said, all right, I'm going to treat this like a full-time job. I'm going to pretend that I have a full-time job as a game developer. I'm going to go into work every day, and I'm just going to bust it out every single day for the entire summer. So we started working, and we started getting really serious with things. And and around about a month before I was supposed to go back to teaching, we were working on Orbitals at the time. We got some attention from a gaming publisher on Twitter. Like we were just uploading random stuff to Twitter as like a you know, to keep people aware of what we're up to or whatever. And a gaming publisher reached out to us, and they were like, hey, we kind of like what you're up to, you know, why don't you send us some information about it? And so we started communicating with this publisher, thinking, oh my gosh, this is it, we could get our game published. So I had this moment where I had to choose what I was going to do with my future. And and I decided, like, I spoke about it with my wife, and we went back and forth about what our options are and what our possibilities are. And I like a week before, like, no, I think it was 3 weeks, and I swore I would never do this in my career, but 3 weeks before school started, the next year school started, I walked into my principal's office and I sat down with him, and I'm like, hey man, listen, I've got this opportunity, I can't pass it up. And he was really understanding. He was incredibly understanding. And I'm like, I got to go full bore into this. So I
You're
quit.
you're all in on this.
I'm all in, yeah. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, look, I got to go all in on this. And
Wow.
he said, okay. So I quit being a school teacher and I went in full time as a game dev. And we had a whole bunch of ups and downs. Like that publisher ended up ghosting us a little bit, and we were trying to reach out to them, and then different things were happening. And then I submitted our game to Indie Mega Booth, which there's a game developer. So there's a conference called GDC, the Game Developers Conference, which was held in San Francisco. And it's like it's a big deal. It's like all the people from the game development world, they go and they bump elbows and they have like award ceremonies and all this stuff. But they had a showcase called the Indie Mega Booth is what it was called, and we like at just a wild hair decided to do a Hail Mary pass and try out for it, and like miraculously we got accepted, right? So suddenly now we're like, oh wow, we're gonna be able to take our game to GDC, and like all these industry professionals are going to be able to see it, and oh my gosh, we'll get a publisher and it'll become a thing and our game will come out and it's going to be amazing. And so we're gearing up, we're buying hotels. I mean, we're getting hotel rooms, we're buying plane tickets, we're getting all this stuff happening, and we're like, oh my gosh, we're on a rocket to the moon. And that was March of 2020, right? So then whispers start popping up about this like mysterious illness coming from the east, and we're like, oh man, there's no way they're gonna cancel GDC. It's too huge.
Oh,
It'd be
right.
millions of dollars would be lost, right? And so then like a month before we're supposed to go, the entire world shuts down. They cancel GDC, they cancel everything, right? So so we go into this development and hibernation mode for a while, where we just start improving the game, improving the character models, improving the shaders, improving the multiplayer, everything, the AI tracking and all this different stuff, and traversal tracking and everything. We're just building.
So you got way more dedicated during the pandemic after that.
Yeah, we did. We went full into it, right? But at the same time, like funding's running out. Like time is against us. So we started working for other companies and doing some freelancing stuff. We started doing freelancing things to kind of keep the door open, which was cool because I got this opportunity to learn that there's a whole world out there of jobs that you can do, right? Which is neat, and so it was kind of cool that way. So we were able to keep our heads above water, but at the same time we're kind of trudging through the desert on a horse with no name, and we're like hoping that we can make it to the end, and then we do another Hail Mary pass wild hair submission to PAX for their PAX Rising showcase, and miraculously we made it. So
wow.
yeah, so it's been this crazy ride. So we feel like we've been trudging through the desert, only to find out that our oasis is waiting for us if we can win a tap dancing competition.
I hope so. I hope this is gonna be a big thing for you, because
I really appreciate.
I feel like it will be.
We're hoping so.
The amount of passion you've already showed us is already like it's already really good to me.
I appreciate that.
You must have a great support system to do all this while you guys all have families while you're doing this.
Yeah, I am an incredibly lucky man. I have my wife is super understanding, super supportive, super cool about it all. And that's the thing is, we've been lucky to keep our heads above water and like find ways of keeping the lights turned on and people fed and everything while we trudge through it. We've been really lucky that way. And so
chasing a dream isn't easy.
No, it isn't. Yeah, and having somebody who's willing to go through the hardships requisite to chase your dreams with you is valuable beyond measure. So I'm really lucky. I'm really lucky. Yeah.
So you settled on Orbitals. What is it about? What is Orbitals about?
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so in Orbitals you play as these post-apocalyptic arena fighters with gravity manipulation abilities, right?
Gravity manipulation.
Yeah. The key to it is that you've got gravity manipulation abilities. So it's an arena fighting game with your friends, where your avatars, your characters, are able to manipulate gravity and walk along the walls and atop the ceilings. So you battle along the ceilings and walls. There is no up, there is no down. It is, gravity. It's kind of like Ender's Game
That
battles.
sounds great.
Yeah, in that you get to throw yourself around the map, so your character can drop off the ceiling and orbit around an object in the room, and then use their weapons recoil to throw themselves around. So Orbitals is this arena fighter game where you go up against your friends in battle in an arena. Meanwhile, there's all these NPC monsters that are flying around the area trying to attack you as well.
Oh, meanwhile.
Yeah, right, yeah. And, when you defeat your enemies, when you defeat your friends, their body explodes and a little collectible point pops up, and the first person to collect 5 points wins. But when you get blown up, you lose a point, right? So you're a little arena fighter running around this crazy environment, flying around this crazy environment, using your gravity manipulation abilities, blowing up NPC monsters and fighting your friends, and whoever makes it to 5 points first wins the match. And then you go into a menu screen where between matches, so it's also like best of, two, best of three, right? So between matches, you can use the points that you've earned to upgrade the abilities and powers of your arena fighter. So the next time you jump into the arena, you've got upgraded abilities, you've got upgraded skills, and so you get to just battle again. And so every time you play, it's a completely different game.
That's pretty.
That's up in the ante from a regular arena game.
Okay.
Right, that's kind of the idea.
Okay,
we're trying to do something new.
Gonna just go put that on my Steam wish list.
Yes, please. That'd be great.
Yes,
already done.
I already said that I'm buying the Yeti Crew pretty much all copy space.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, let's see. Oh crap! Looks like I was allowed to share things for 60 seconds, and
we took care of it for you.
You took care of it?
We did. I took care of it, and then I also made you. I made you a mod in my chat.
Oh, nice. All right, there you go. So there's a link to the game right there. There's a link to the game. It's orbitalsgame.com.
Website there.
Yeah,
I made you a mod just so you didn't have to worry about it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I apprete that. Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly sounds great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no wonder PAX picked that.
I was gonna say, so you're actually gonna be in my neck of the woods.
Oh, am I? That's great. Are you in the East Coast?
I'll put it to you this way: I parked my car in Harvard Yard.
Oh, right on, brother. That's great.
I like how every American knows that accent.
Oh my God, Harvard Yard.
I'll put it to you this way: I was actually pretty much drove past where you're gonna be, where PAX is.
Dude, come to PAX. Come hang out, man. Come give me a high five at PAX, bro. I'm gonna be in the booth, man.
Dude.
I'm gonna be we're working 14-hour days. That's the crazy thing. We're getting all this information from them. It's 14-hour days, so we're gonna be there for 4 days.
Yeah, if I can
14-hour days.
If I can come up with the money, I will definitely swing by.
I should fly to Boston and get right there.
Yes.
Yeah, luckily they give us expo tickets. So hey, listen, anybody who wants to come to PAX and give me a high five, I will give you a high five at PAX.
We should all go to Boston, give Space some support in person.
That'd be amazing.
Dude, fuck yeah, let's go. We should definitely all go to Boston. Let's go.
When is it?
It is April 21st to the 24th.
I don't know if I have the time to do that.
Yeah, it's like it starts on a Thursday. It goes Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this year.
That's really soon, guys.
They didn't used to do 4. I think it used to be 3 days. But
here we go.
Is I went to PAX once. I went to PAX East. Like I flew to Boston and did PAX East with a friend as like a just being there as like a it is a fuck roaming the aisles. So like being able to have a booth there is just ripping my brain into
That's
pieces.
Gonna be great.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm terrified. There's so many people.
It is fucking insane.
Excuse me.
Like honestly, I might need to like message you and figure out where you're staying. Come meet you at the hotel,
absolutely.
Man.
Yeah, dude, that'd be super fun, man.
Just like send Mike a picture of like me and you, just like, yo, you're missing out, buddy.
What's up, man? We got noodles. What you gonna do?
Yo, yes.
You could do actual hot tub streams in Boston.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be sick.
I don't know if Ryan Reynolds will be there for you though, but.
No, see, if anything, we're not gonna get noodles. We're gonna go get chowder.
There you go. Get some chowder.
Gotta get the chowder.
Boston.
And I know like 6 or 7 places right around the arena where to go.
That's fantastic.
Oh, there you go.
You'll have to
Wow.
give me some recommendations, dude. Seriously, that'd be
Sullivan's Castle Island.
great.
He's already sending you. You know, I'm sending you there, man. You're already going.
Kelly's over at
Sounds
Revere
like a plan,
Beach.
So you're actually in person. That'd be great. So, what do you like? Can you say when it's supposed to be released, or do you know for sure the rough idea?
So yeah, the thing, man. Okay, so here's the thing about it all is, we're hoping for late 2022. Like we're hoping for this year, right? We're hoping for sometime late this year, right? If everything goes according to plan, we'll be able to like meet some, really cool people. We'll be able to potentially find a publisher. We'll be able to like get everything done and then wrapped up so that we can, because there's 3 of us. Like we're making a game that I think, and this is hang on, I hear my dog's pitter pattering feet. Okay, anyway,
Dog
we're
cam,
making a
let's go.
game that I think if it were made by a larger company, they probably would have upwards of like 50 people working on it, right? And
Yeah,
we're
that's
3
true.
people, and we're 3, so we wear a lot of hats. Like if you go to the website, the video was me. Like I made the video, right? Like I edited the video together. Like all of the we built the websites. We build, we do everything from everything, right? Like literally everything is done by 3 different people, and so
So you guys are trying to
it's
be
a lot of
the
work.
next concerned ape.
So if it's just
Yeah.
really, that's kind of the way it is. It's like you do what you can do. But if we want to bust it out by the end of this year, we're hoping to get published, and we're hoping to move from there. If we can get published, then we can get more people on hand, and then get the thing put out, right? And then we'll move on to other games. That's the dream is to the Orbitals will be out, and we'll get to start on game number 2 and game number 3, and keep going from
He's
there.
already
And
planning it. He's already getting it. Like,
dude, I've got that's the game I play. Is
I was gonna say he's probably already got like the entire concept for the next game down.
Well, that's the problem. Is like I have the entire concept for the next 5 games down, and with like 20 in development after that. But I have to be able to convince. I have to be able to convince my 2 friends that that's the game we should make, right? They both have to be like fully invested in it. So I'm constantly pitching stuff to them, being like, "This is what we should do," and they're like,
Hey, maybe if your game does well enough, they'll be like, you know what, we gotta keep doing it.
Yeah. We definitely want to keep doing it. It's just which one to pick, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's always good to have a bunch of ideas so you can kind of like see how it goes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
It'd be a lot easier for a publisher. It's like maybe you guys should do this, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. But
wow.
That's kind of what we're hoping for. We're hoping that it'll happen. So if we're able to get, it just depends. If like we don't get a publisher or whatever happens, then we'll probably self-publish the thing. It'll probably be sometime next year, like 2023. We're currently we've already been able to build a relationship with Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, and then we have our Steam profile as well. So if we self-publish, we will be able to publish on all of those platforms, right? So even if we put the thing out ourselves, we'll be able to be found on Nintendo Switch and Xbox and PlayStation and
That'd be
Steam.
great.
Yeah, so that'd be really, really good.
Now,
But, if you build a relationship with a publisher, then you can get things like incredible advertising, and you can get marketing, and people know streamers, and people know YouTubers, and people know all that stuff, right?
Oh,
so,
that'd be
now I got a
it's
question
kinda
for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have intentions of cross-play?
That would be a dream come true. As of right now, it's not really in our scope, but that would be cool though. That would be honestly cool. Networking is an unbelievable nightmare.
I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
And getting everything to communicate properly is wizardry that really demands a lot of time and energy, right? And
it's basically
it just depends on how much we want to get it, how fast we can get it out, and how worth it would be.
And that comes down if you get a publisher, you might have the
right. Yeah, it's like, hey, can you keep 3 families alive long enough to make the job get done?
True. Yeah. Keep our
Right?
lights on so we can keep doing this for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hopefully it
Yeah.
comes out this year. It's gonna be yeah. I've had it saved since I first saw it a year ago.
I appreciate that. That's really cool of you. Yeah, it's nice.
And Devil talks to me too. She's really pumped for it.
Oh, that's great.
She wants to be one of your testers and stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. If we get things to a certain level, like I'm definitely going to be trying out some. There's still a lot of playtesting that needs to happen, you know, and I would love to utilize people. It'd be great.
I volunteer as
I
tribute.
said I would stream it. Yeah, we
and that's
would
the
all
thing.
do it
Yeah,
for you.
Like,
it's so funny. I'm
hell
always
yeah.
pitching that idea to people, and it's always like, okay, remember this though. Like, it's gonna be work. You know, like you play test a game, and it's like, I need you guys to play it until it breaks, and that might not be as fun as you think it is.
Dude, are you kidding me? I love breaking games.
That's cool.
Let's
That's
go.
Great. Yeah.
I was gonna say Dev and Devil definitely have the time.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's pumped for it.
Yeah, excellent.
Like,
The
I
thing
even
is
got my
that's
even got
the
my
benefit
evil
of
laugh
having,
face on.
That's the benefit of having like a personality online. You have people that be like, "I'll do it for you," and like
Very
you
true,
network,
yeah.
with people, you know, like, literally just play the game to the ground.
Hell yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
I got no
Before it's even
problem with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm sure if I talked, I know bigger VTubers I could talk to that would probably be willing to test play it for you too.
Sure.
Get it out to a bigger audience.
We're gonna
You guys are fantastic.
we're gonna help make this happen for you.
Fuck
guys.
yeah, man!
I appreciate that.
I'm pumped. Let's do it.
I appreciate that very much.
So how about in terms of your stream? Like, do you intend on keeping that going for a while?
You know, the thing is like, I was so, oh man, like way back in the day, I started with the Game Grumps, right? Like I started watching YouTubers specifically, right? Like I started watching YouTubers because my cousin she was like, oh my gosh, these two guys are super funny. You got to go check them out. And I started watching the Game Grumps, and I'm like, oh yeah, these guys are hilarious, you know. And then that led to like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, and you know, I started kind of watching these YouTubers and things, and then a friend of mine, actually Dave, my programmer, was like, you know, you ought to stream. You've got a personality for it. You could this and that, whatever. And I'm like, oh no, I could never. Oh, I could never, you know. And then so he for years, it was like for a couple of years, he would like at Christmas time, he would gift me things for Christmas that were like streamer things, right? Like a webcam or a microphone. And it was like, you need to start streaming, you know? And it was like, here's the stuff you need to start streaming. So he really kind of like supported me and pushed me towards it, even though I was really self-conscious. And I started streaming.
That's hard to believe that you're self-conscious.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, you always think like nobody wants to look at you while you play a game, you know what I mean? Like nobody wants to blah. I really appreciate that's super nice of you to say that, because I still don't think any like I don't even know.
I'll tell you this. The first stream I heard from you, I think it was from Spidey Gwen.
Mm-hmm. She's great. I love Spidey Gwen.
I listened to you doing Coraline.
Oh yeah.
That's how I first saw your stream, is Coraline.
Oh man, that's super cool.
The audio of that, and I was like, man, this guy's voice is amazing. Gwen's like, yeah, his voice is great for it.
And then I think that I came through your stream because of either Mike recommended rating you, or it was Yeti who rated you. I forget which.
Oh yeah.
We've spread the word about space for a long time now.
Oh, you guys are amazing. That seriously blows my mind. It seriously blows my mind.
No,
that's
like,
crazy.
Yeah, I've told them that if you had the time to do it full time, you'd probably be way bigger.
I appreciate that.
I think you're the right personality for it.
Oh god, you guys are gonna make me. I can't even.
No, it's true. I honestly believe you have a good personality for it. There are big time streamers that have less personality than you.
Yeah, definitely.
I appreciate that. That's really kind of you. That's really kind of you. I mean, I just got started with like. Oh, sorry. What?
The best part is like, I think you're just being you. I don't think you're being anything but yourself.
Best way to do it.
Just play games and hang out with people. That's all I'm really trying to do. You know what I mean? Like
that's all you need.
Yeah, like it started like man. Oh, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's Sally Nightmare. I'm looking at your chat right now. Sally, hi.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yep.
I love you guys too.
So how did you like finally like I'm gonna
Holy
get
smokes.
on and start streaming? I'm gonna do
So
this.
what? Basically, it came down to like, so yeah, I guess what I kind of played with the idea. I thought about it for a while. I had a YouTube channel, right? I was doing everything on my YouTube channel, um, and I was just uploading videos of me playing games and being stupid, and people were, I'd get, like 10 views or something, and I'd be thrilled. That's like 10 people actually watched me play that. That's ridiculous. And it's like, why would they waste their time, right? But I was having
It's
fun.
true.
I just enjoyed the video editing. I liked making jokes and memes pop up on the screen. I liked just goofing off and all this stuff, right? And then I played with the idea. I was talking with my wife about it. I'm like, I'm thinking about maybe streaming a little bit. But the thing is, you know, I'm a dad, and it's like the evening. Like, really, I have limited time. I think that's my major limitation for streaming is just the amount of time I
Oh
actually
yeah,
have to
we
stream.
get it totally.
Yeah.
Is how much time I excuse me, is how much time I actually have to actually do the streaming. But I had this thing happen where so my wife is like 4 or 5 months pregnant, and she's just exhausted, like, because she's 5 months pregnant, right? She's just completely
Right.
exhausted. So she started doing this. She was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm so tired. I'm just gonna go to bed, right? I'm like, okay, cool. I might just play some games or something. I'll catch up with you later. So she'd go to bed, and I'm like, maybe I'll stream it. Like maybe I'll stream it, right? So all of a sudden there was a few months up until my daughter was born, where I had like pretty consistent nights of just being like, oh well, she's so tired that she just can't stay awake, right? So she'll go to bed, and I'll just sit down and play a video game, and I started streaming, and like I didn't have a face cam, I didn't have a start menu, I didn't have any of the random crap that I have now, right? It was all just me hitting the go button and just playing some games, and stuff started to build, right? And it's like people started following me, people started this and that, and all of a sudden it was like a couple months in, I'm like, babe, I'm made affiliate. I have like 50 people who've followed me, right? Like Sky Collective was actually 50, the 50th person to follow me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is actually happening. And she was like so lovely and so supportive. She's like, that's so great. I'm so glad you're having a good time. And I'm telling her the tales and everything. And so it kind of started that way. It was really just, I just had some free time in the evening time, and I'm like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to give it a try. And then little by little by little, it's like, then I added a face cam, then I added this, then I added that, then I got a better microphone, then I got I put a light up so that people can see me. And it's
It's
been this
amazing that
slow
you don't have the
progress.
time and yet have all this.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. It's funny because it's just like, it's just like, oh, we're hanging out doing nothing. So I'm just kind of
Yeah.
like, oh, what if I throw this picture on right there and this and that and blah blah blah. And so I just kind of slowly build things as time goes by. Like I'll start streaming at 9:30, but at 9 o'clock I'm like editing some little dumb thing together. You know what I mean? And just kind of building stuff up that way. So it really just kind of got started that way. I was like, if I'm gonna be playing, I have these hilarious friends too. That's the cool thing, is I've got these really amazing friends. I'm really lucky, where I have had the same friends since high school, right? Like my friends and I have been friends for like 20 years, right? And it blows my mind that like we've been able to maintain these awesome friendships via video games. We connect with each other online again and stuff. And so I'd be playing games with my friends and like crying. I'm laughing so hard, right? So I thought, like, what if I just hit the stream button while we're playing these games? And so these guys are hilarious, and I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. So I figured I'm playing games. If I'm playing games with them, the content is super funny. If I'm playing games by myself, then streaming gets people to hang out with me, and I'm an extrovert. It's just the way it is. I like people a lot, and I get jazzed up hanging out with folks. And so it's really great because it's like, well, if I'm gonna be playing whatever dumb game, I might as well have like some people to hang out with while I'm doing it, And
That's
so
pretty
Right.
much how I started doing it too, because like I started off as just the background guy for Yeti games and for Nebby and playing with them, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I was like,
yeah.
what if I just turn my PlayStation on and just put it to broadcast?
Mm-hmm.
See,
And I did it like
Just give it a try, right?
yeah,
I just
see,
gave it a try.
that's how I started, with my Xbox. I was playing Dead by Daylight and, SnowRunner and whatnot. And eventually my laptop caught fire, so I was kind of I
Your
was
laptop caught fire.
Poor
That sounds
Dev.
like a story you need to tell, man.
Yeah, how did
so
that happen?
okay. So pretty much this laptop that I had been using was already like 4 years old when I got it,
Yeah.
and just constantly using it, opening, closing. The plastic around the screen and the hinges and whatnot broke
God.
Oh my gosh.
to the point where it wouldn't stay up or close, and if you didn't open it just right, basically the face was coming off the screen. And then eventually the other one broke, so it wasn't connected to the bottom at all. And then that piece came off completely, and pretty much just I'm holding the screen up with the keyboard dangling by a wire.
That's amazing.
And it's still running. It was still working. One day I, finished up what I was doing. Was gonna go downstairs to make some food. I closed the laptop and getting myself situated. Next thing I know, I see smoke billowing from it. And I'm like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Unplug that.
it wasn't plugged in. That's the thing. Like,
Here's what we need: a battery fire. That'll improve your life as a battery fire.
yeah,
Battery fire.
well, lucky, and depending on how you look at it, unluckily, earlier, like a couple of weeks before, I had been in a car accident and my car was totaled.
Mm-hmm.
So, unluckily that I was in an accident. Luckily, I had money to buy a new PC. So I bought a new PC, bought a Red Dragon webcam. Just, picked up, up until about a month ago, I was using a headset that was being held together with Gorilla Tape.
Nice. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that, man.
No,
Nothing
see,
wrong with that
like,
at all.
that's just, it's one of those things where it proves that anybody can stream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really. Yeah. Some of the best streamers. That's the thing is like, I guess I kind of started talking about it earlier, but like, some of the best streamers I know are like the most low budget. Like, I'm not there for
Yeah,
the
me
budget.
too.
You know what? I'm not there for like even the quality. It's not that what's important to me. It's like what I get attracted to for streamers is like, and YouTubers and stuff is like positivity. There's so many. It's like there's so many streamers out there that it's just like they're constantly blaming the game or they're blaming their friends.
It should always be about personality.
Upset. They're always just like, I'm so cool. This doesn't reflect who I am. I'm really cool. You guys know I'm cool, right? And it's like, blah. I hate that garbage. Like
I always reference.
what I want is
someone
people.
like.
I want happy people. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like
exactly.
people who are fun. You're gonna make my night better instead of just making me want to wash my face.
There's one particular big time streamer. He puts like almost no money into the actual budget of his show. It's like Uno.
Mm-hmm.
He's just himself.
Yeah, just being fun and funny, right?
He's just a regular funny dude who's just like, you just listen to him and go, oh, he sounds like such a nice guy.
Yeah, because that's what it is. That's the miracle of Twitch, in my opinion, is that like it's less about watching somebody do something and more about interacting with them, right? Like that's the cool thing about Twitch is you get to interact with people, and it's like I've legitimately made friends. You know what I mean? Like I've made friends just having them pop in and hang out, and you get to know people, you know. And it's like
I had a friend that was
people.
like, "Hey, you want me to pay you to make cookies to send to people in the States?" I was Lux.
Yeah,
I was like,
when,
Lux,
by the way,
that
Mike?
was it.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
How cool is that?
But
Yeah.
That's so amazing.
I should
It's
be a
seriously
follow when I got affiliate too.
Mm-hmm.
and yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
I found I was gonna say like, you talk about making friends on here, and it's like, I look at the Nightmare crew, I look at the Yeti crew, I look at Penlock Holmes and the friends I've made over through her. To the point, like Penlock is, I consider her sister. I consider my little group over there family.
Yeah.
So I get
It's
along
crazy
with.
how that happens.
It's funny.
It's crazy
I
how
get.
it works, 'cause, like,
Yeah.
Dev was the kind of guy that was like not into like being in big groups of people, and then slowly got himself more comfortable and just meeting other people, and like he realized, and me too actually, where it's like, you know what, they're kind of cool. I'll just go in there and talk to them and see what happens.
Yeah, just hang out with folks. It's so crazy how it ends up working. It seriously is nuts. Like I have people that I'm in contact with on a daily basis now that like I didn't even know a year ago. You know what I mean? I didn't even know them. I did like we don't live in the same country. We don't live in the same time
like,
zone. You know what I mean? We're so far apart from each other, but we like see each other all that we have history together. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
I got a stalker in New Zealand, you know, it's just the way it is. Like, Gaming Devil always hangs out with us, and she's all the way in the UK.
Yep.
I know, it's like I always forget. I'm always like, I'm assuming people are like waking up when I wake up, and then I remember like, oh crap, they're going to bed.
I mean, just think about it this way. For me, it's midnight right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We modified our schedule for you.
Yeah.
Dude, I appreciate that. I'm really sorry. Man.
Oh,
don't be so, dude.
That's super cool of you. That's super.
We
cool
wanted to have
you. Are you
on.
kidding? Dude, it's an honor to have you on.
Yeah, really.
I don't know why it's an honor to have me on, but I appreciate you saying so. That's super
especially
cool.
if you become a big time developer, you were here first.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. We had the first interview with SpaceCaptainSpace.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing. Oh gosh.
Like, I'm literally gonna have to find you when you're here and get your autograph, so I can say I got the first one.
And then we all get paid because this guy's great.
You're too kind. Man, you're way too kind. But yeah, like, I guess I lost track of your question a while back there. I just realized, like, so you asked me, like, am I gonna keep streaming? The plan is yeah. Like, basically, if I.
That's basically yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep streaming, and it's mostly just gonna be, and I you know, like, you know, I will dedicate as much time to it as I can responsibly. That's where I'm at, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'll be able to do. It's like whatever I can responsibly dedicate to the stream and to playing games and stuff. You know, if I'm playing a game, I'm going to be streaming it. And
if you have more notoriety, you can make enough income to help you keep the lights on without doing an extra job.
That would be a dream come true. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Because then you can do your developing and all that from home and all that stuff.
Yeah, I got talking with my buddy Dave, and we were like, just for example, like I highly recommend the Game Grumps. I love those guys. They're super funny. But I was rolling my eyes and just shaking my head because it's like, what an amazing life they've been able to build for themselves. You know what I mean? They've built this amazing life where like, they've got something like, I don't even know. I think the last time I checked, it was something like over 5 million subscribers, right? On YouTube or whatever. So then it's like, they decide to make a game, right? And granted, they made a great game. They hired really good developers, they hired really good writers, they hired really good people. They got a very talented group of people together and they made a game, right? Like they funded this game, and then they just have to, all they got to do is get on their YouTube channel and be like, hey guys, we made a game. And then 5 million people
unbelievable
are like, oh cool, they made a game. If only a fraction of those people decide to go out and support them by buying the game, they're immediately successful.
If you get like 10% of that,
yeah. And so I'm like, oh, and then I mentioned that to my buddy Dave, and he's like, dude, you need to stream more. You need to stream a lot more. You need to start streaming more. It's like, if only, dude. I'm glad you have so much faith in me. I'm really glad you have so much faith in me.
Well,
Jeez.
we just have 3 people who said they're gonna save the game for you in the chat.
I appreciate that, chat.
It's not a lot, but you know what?
Oh, man, I haven't even been reading the chat. Sarah, Sally Nightmare is amazing, isn't she? Sally's great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic.
If we can get you a couple hundred people, you know, it'll spread the word.
I will cry myself to sleep with joy. You guys are amazing.
Me? Sally's got you in the wish list. I've had you on there for a while.
Same.
Deb's friend Yuri said he's gonna do it. He's gonna have you on.
Wow, that's fantastic.
So definitely got people saving you already. We're waiting for this.
Yes, please and thank you. You guys, I can't even believe it. It's so weird to just go from being like, you know, like writing all this stuff down in a 3-ring notebook, you know, like a binder, to all of a sudden having it be like, oh, we're gonna be showing it at PAX, you know, like.
Yeah.
If I have any advice, guys, go for it. Like, fortune favors the bold, everybody.
Damn straight.
The bold.
So for
like,
anyone,
there are two times that are the best time to plant a tree. 20 years ago and today, right? Like, it
That's
doesn't
good.
matter what
Love
your
it.
plan is, man. Plant your tree today. Start doing it. Fortune favors the bold. No, nothing's ever gonna happen if you don't freaking throw your hat into the
Yeah,
ring. You
I
got to just go for it, you know. So
agree. Yeah,
it blows
Agreed.
my
thinking a lot
mind.
about what I'm gonna do. I'm putting a lot more work into my baking stuff. I want to do my own separate branding too.
Absolutely, dude.
And I was like, I have the time to do it now while I'm pretty much on my own still for the most part. So I'm also just doing now. I have the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, man, do it.
And
And that's the thing. Is like worst case scenario is you learn an awful lot along the way. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you're gonna be there's the downside of it is that maybe the thing you were trying for didn't work out, but then you learned so much along the way that you might have discovered something else you can try. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
just
For
go
for
for it.
for me, the streaming is not gonna be like the monetary thing for me. I've always wanted to be like an author, so I've been
Awesome.
developing a book for a very long time,
Cool.
and I'm like, you know what, I should finally just get it done.
Yes, dude, send me a rough draft,
So,
man. I'd
Dude,
love to
I
read it.
I
mean,
have a lot of people that will do it.
Mm-hmm.
like, you know me and you know my writing. Like, I've always dabbled with poetry and short
Same.
stories.
I wrote a poetry book like almost 10 years ago.
Cool.
And it was all stuff when I wrote as an angsty teenager, and I just turned it into like a poetry book.
Cool.
So I was like, you know what, I should finally get actual books down. And I've always had written down stuff and chapters and stuff like that, never put together. And I'm like, you know what, maybe I should. And I listen to people like you and other people who are like, you know what, just do it.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
did.
man.
And like Emma, when she's like, if you want to start streaming, just turn the PlayStation on.
Yeah. God, there's so much weird. It's weird how often that advice plays into like like so many different aspects of life, right? Like I had this opportunity where there's this fantastic book series called Fablehaven. I don't know if you guys have ever had a chance to read it. It's called
No.
Fablehaven, um, but it was written by a guy who lives in the same state as me, and it's like a national bestseller, right?
Wow.
Um, and so he was doing this like book tour thing, right? Like he's a New York Times best-selling author, and he's doing these little book tours like through elementary schools. And I was an elementary school teacher at the time, right? So they were like, "Oh, Will's got a deep voice. Like, have Will announce this guy, right? Like, or whatever, right?" So I'm like, "Oh, all right." So I got this awesome opportunity to stand next to a guy who wrote books that I really loved, right? And I had like 15 minutes of just standing next to him while the minutia of an assembly is going on, right? And and I just turned to him and I was like, "Look, dude, I know you probably get asked this all the time, but here's the deal. I really like your work. I really respect you as an artist, and I would really like to know, like, how do you get to where you are, right? Like, what's the difference between somebody who wants to be where you are and somebody who is where you are?" And he was just like, "Look, man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Just write a book. Like, stop thinking about writing a book."
Yeah.
And write the book. He's like, what I did was, he said, what I did was, his name's Brandon Mull. He wrote this book series called Fablehaven and The Beyonders and Candy Shop Wars. He's got a lot of really great stuff. But he said what I did was, he said I took some time off, um, and he had it was kind of like my summer vacation situation, similar to it, where he was just like, I treated it like a full-time job. I woke up in the morning at a reasonable hour. I got myself ready for the day. I went into my writing room. I sat down in front of a computer and I forced myself to write for 8 hours. I took a lunch break, but I forced myself to write for 8 hours. And then I did that for, this amount of time. He's like, in 3 months, I wrote my first book. And it wasn't perfect.
Wow.
It still had to write. He's like, I sat, I still had to put it through an editor and all these different things, and all this different stuff. He's like, but if I hadn't have done that, if I hadn't have taken it seriously and just done it, then I would still be sitting around thinking about this book that I want to write, right? So
Yeah.
it does come down to, and I'm not the poster boy for this in any way, shape, or form. There's a million aspects of my life that
Sure.
I need to like practice my own preaching here. But like when it comes right down to it, you have to do the thing that you want to do. You have to be brave enough to give it a try. You have to be brave enough to fail. You have to be brave enough to just go for it and to actually
Yeah.
really, really take it seriously and work on it. And when you do that, you'll be surprised at the benefits that come. You may not, the dream that you originally started out with may not be the dream that you accomplish, right? You might find something else along the way that ends up branching or whatever. But at the end of it all, you'll at least be able to say, I went for it, I did it, I tried. and this is the result that I had, right? Because there's so many aspects of life where there are incredibly capable people who don't believe in themselves enough to go for it, and just sit back, having to be content with the status quo, when there are a lot of people out there who might not even be remotely qualified for the thing that they're currently doing, but they're the ones who are doing it because they're the ones who are brave or stupid enough to try.
Weather
right?
people.
You know what I mean? Yeah, they're the ones who gave it a try. Like, they're
Well
like,
said. Very well
there's
said.
so many things. You know, like there's a guy I went to high school with who I wouldn't trust with a lawnmower, right? but he owns and operates a successful smoothie shop in my town now because he just did it. You know what I mean? It's not like that's the thing. And maybe I underestimated him or whatever. You know what I mean? But the thing is like, he just went for it. He's the guy who wasn't afraid to go and get the loan, or he wasn't afraid to, to try. And so because he tried, he's now the one who owns the smoothie shop. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. That's life. That right there. That's, if anything, if there's any piece of old man wisdom that I can give to, it's that it really is fortune favors the bold. Like, do it. You just go for it. Just give it the best try you can.
If you want to hear more of this, definitely go to SpaceCaptainSpace's channel, because he's always got Daddy Space time to go along with his humor.
Pull up your blankets, because it's story time, right? I'm gonna drop some old man wisdom on you.
I mean, Mike, if you think about it, I started a big journey in my life.
That's true. And how's that going for you, Dev?
So far, so good.
Yeah, that's good, man. It's not always going to be easy, bro. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Like, usually it's really, really hard.
Well,
but it doesn't mean, you know what I mean?
I've always, suffered with weight issues, being on the heavier side, to where right now I am sitting at about 450 pounds.
Mm-hmm. And
little over, just about a year and a half ago, I got news that, I was going to be an uncle. And my nephew just turned 1 March 20th. And I started on the journey to get weight loss surgery. So,
it's great, Dev.
Awesome.
With your movement, like, you just feel better. Like, weight is, like, people don't realize the amount of weight you put on your knees is like literally 5 to 10 pounds per extra pound you put on yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
So.
Yeah, your knees are durable, but not that durable. Like, it's. I had to drop quite a bit too from high school, because like I also got injured quite a bit too, so it didn't help. I kind of exacerbated it from rugby and wrestling, so I had to really change how I was approaching things. I couldn't do forestry, which is what I have a diploma in. I had to switch everything up in my life and just went all in on cooking, and that's what you have to do sometimes. It's not always easy.
Yeah, that's true.
It's always the one you end up staying on.
Right.
Like, Space was a teacher, not. You decided, you know what, I want to go all in on this one thing. And
yeah.
It's crazy, and the thing is like, don't lose sight of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I would say don't lose sight of your goal, because that's a thing that gets, I don't know. People always think that like the line to success is this like, progressive line. Like, I started here and then I worked real hard and I got there, right? But it's more like you go up like this and then you go down, like further down than you started, right? And then you slowly come back up, and then you go, and then there's a bunch of jagged things here, and then there's a big spike up, and then there's a big spike down, and then there's this.
It's a heartbeat.
You finally end up over here. You know what I mean? Like, don't get
it's
discouraged.
A heartbeat.
Yeah, it is, and don't get discouraged that it's not like a constant progression towards perfection. There are gonna be valleys in that, right? And so you got to keep on forcing it through. Like, I mean, I don't know, like COVID just shot me out of the complete sky, and we ended up lower than when we started, and it's like you just got to keep on going. And I'm proud of you, man. That's a really good goal. That's a really cool thing. That's one of those things that's like,
great,
it really is going to make your life better. It's going to improve your life and the life of the people who care about you.
And you'll feel more confident. I mean, and you'll show in your content.
It's only going to improve your life. That's the only thing that's going to come about from it. And that's the thing too. Is it's like, I'll do another like pearl of old man wisdom. My sister, I have a twin sister who's a physical therapist, right? She is highly intelligent. She's an analytical, highly logical, intelligent person. She is literally the Spock to my Captain Kirk, right? That's the only way I can explain it. Is that she's the Spock and I'm the Captain Kirk, right? But she's a physical therapist, and the way she explained like health to me, right? Because I'm like dad bodying out in a big way, which is that's life. But like the way she explained it to me is she said, when you're young, you care about going to the gym and stuff because you want to like look hot and look sexy and all that kind of stuff, right? But like what the correct mindset is like basically saying, when I'm at a certain age in my life, I want to be able to like still take care of myself, right? Like I want to be able to put my own shoes on, and I want to be able to do all of these things. Like I don't want to like my knees to be destroyed. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like where do you want to be? Like when you're 60, like what kind of a 60-year-old do you want to be, right? Do you want to be one of the ones that can still travel, or do you want to be one of the ones that, and it's like that hit me with this big bolt of reality where I'm like, oh wow, that's my motivation to be healthy. Is it's like, it's not always about like being sexy and accepted or whatever. It's mostly about like, I want to continue living.
Do it for yourself.
I want to continue living and be healthy and like be able to like handle things and all that stuff, so it's always a really good thing. And dude, I believe in you. You can do it. You can totally do it. I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
I will put it this way. Up until I found out that news, my state of mind was pretty much, I didn't care if I made it to 50. I used to crack jokes all the time where I'm gonna be dead by the time I hit 40. And now,
like,
now it's like I actually have a reason.
And that's important. Yeah, that's important. I'm happy for you. That's good. That's
there's
the thing. Is like a lot of people care about you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who care about you, and that's the thing. Is like respecting yourself in that regard. Also, like respects them, right? Like, because you want, like, if you care about people and they care about you, then you're gonna want to like help them keep you. Right? Like they want to keep you around. You want to help them keep you, right? Like people don't want to see you go. So it's like, well, I guess I better do something about that, right? That's really cool.
It reminds me of this this musician slash podcaster. He goes by Billy the Fridge, and he called himself that because he's 5'8" and 700 pounds. And then one day he's like, you know what, man? I want to be able to like live till like I want to be 40 years old and be able to live. And now he's like, I'm Billy the water cooler now. He went on a big diet. He lost like 200 plus pounds. And stuff.
That's awesome.
And it's like but it's hard. You have to like go in on it's like anything you do. It's like when you're doing your game developing, writing a book. You have to go all in, or it's never gonna work.
Yeah, man.
You're never gonna get it done.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the thing too. Is like.
Have a good night, Sally. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, hey, is Sally there?
Later, Sally.
Let's see here. A roadblock in my life honestly could be a new start. Sally, you can do it. Sally's amazing. There's nothing Sally can't do.
Oh yeah,
Good night, Sally.
Honestly,
it's nice seeing you.
Honestly, she's supposed to be sending out this handmade rabbit that she made for me.
Oh,
and
wow.
I am so freaking pumped for it.
That's way cool. That's way cool.
So how much longer do we have you for, Space?
You know what? I can probably go about another 20 minutes if that's all right.
Yeah,
I can do a few more questions with you.
Okay, cool. Well, here, let me do before we finish that. I just wanted to do. I'm just gonna throw out. I'm just vomiting my brain all over you guys. I apologize for that.
No, that's absolutely okay.
You know what? As long as it's your brain and good ideas and not stomach acid, I think we're good.
You got it. I'll try my best, man. So there's an aspect of my friends who are my coworkers that blows my mind that I'm trying to acquire. I'm trying to assimilate this personality trait, right? They are tenacious to a fault, right? Like they get an idea or they get a goal in their head. They get passionate about something, and it becomes their entire life, right? Like for example, my friend Nick, who really is like a big part of the artistic and creative genius behind Orbitals. He decided about 5 years ago. He decided that he wanted to be an artist, right? And so he started drawing, and then he started watching drawing tutorials on YouTube, and then he started buying books, and he started doing all these things, and he did nothing but that, like almost to a fault, where it's like, dude, you need to probably start paying attention to, like, you know, some pretty important life elements of your own of your life,
Right.
other than this, right? But he just went for it, and now he's an artist. You know, a few years go by, and now all of a sudden he's an incredible artist, right? And it's because he lives it, right? And there's this like, when you have a goal in your mind, when you want to do something, like, choose to do it, and like really take
Yeah.
it seriously, right? Like, don't don't just hope upon a hope and be like, don't just harbor that little ember of joy in your heart of being like, yeah, it'd be really great if I accomplished that. You need to make that, like, you need to make that the thing you think about when you wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And that creates a lifestyle change. That creates a change in your lifestyle, right? Which is really what you need. If you really want to make something happen, if you really want something to change in your life, then you need to change your lifestyle, right? And so, anyway, there's this dumb lyric that I used to send to them all the time because it always reminded me of them. But there's a song called, I think it's called "Sweatpants" by Childish Gambino, and there's a
God.
line in it. There's a line in it where he says, he says, breakfast, lunch, and dinner is for beginners. You don't even know. And he says, yeah, you've got the silverware, but really, are you eating though? And I, like, for some reason that, like, got in my head, right? Like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It's like, people are like, man, this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. It's like, that might not be enough. You know what I mean? Like, if you gotta, like, make it a key element of your life at that point, right? Like, and don't ignore the important stuff of your life, but make it really important to you, right? And, like, it kind of, the you've got silverware. It's like, people will go out, like streaming, for example. People will go out and buy, you know, the stream deck and the pedals and the lights and the cameras and the green screen and all that stuff, and they'll have all the equipment, they have all the utensils, but are they eating? You know, like, and then
Yeah.
they'll just never stream. Then they'll stream, you know, maybe once every 6 months or whatever, because it's just, it's easy to, like, hope and to hold that little hope and not actually put the work in, right?
Yeah. I
And
get
so
it.
and
Yeah.
so you know, you might have the silverware, but are you eating, right? And, like, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it might not be enough. You need to breathe this stuff, you know what I mean? So when it comes to a goal of, like, don't let it be something that can be destroyed by uh, one negative thing happening along the way. Don't let it, like,
Yeah.
when you hit a road bump, don't let it completely break your goal. You know what I mean? It needs to be something that, like, is a battering ram, that, like, anything that
Yeah.
gets in your way, you run it over, right? Like, when the
I
road bumps pop up, you're smashing through the road bumps.
yeah.
And you know, and so that's a key element to it as well. Is it, like, don't just let your dreams be dreams. Like, you actually have to
Yeah.
cut the steak and eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I
that's just I'm just throwing that out there. You
It's
know what I
like,
mean? Go for it. Like,
when I when
don't.
I when I, when I had to pivot before as a park ranger to cooking, I worked really hard on it to be the best I could possibly be at it. And it was a detriment at some points. I had to take a step back and be like, you know what, I'm pushing it too much. I'm burning out.
Yeah.
But I changed it to the point where it's like, I'm still living and breathing it, but I have to get back and look at other things that I'm doing.
Right. You got to maintain
Because
the
my mind
machine.
is constantly moving. I'm always doing different things. I have a
Hmm.
thousand different things on the go all the time.
Hmm.
But I got to be able to focus and still live and breathe the way I want to do it,
Hmm.
but not have it take away everything else in my life. Because I pushed a lot of people
Very true.
away.
Yeah. Very true.
I
Very,
never
very
really
true.
had. I, I I think my entire 20s I didn't really have a real relationship because I was a workaholic about this cooking,
Ooh, wow.
doing it and being
Oof.
a thing,
Yeah, that can be
and
hard.
I was spending like 4, 5, 6 months at camp to do cooking and stuff like that. So I never really spent time doing it for a long time.
Putting any roots into your life, right? Putting some
Yeah,
roots down.
and when I settled down finally, it was just before COVID, luckily for me, so it was kind of forced me to stay home. And I was like, you know what? I'm lucky to have this position that I have now because I was able to settle down and pick somewhere to go because now I built my career enough that I can pick and choose where I want to go,
Oh, that's
do whatever
awesome.
I want,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and I can still live and breathe it. But now I can live my personal life, and I can have this, and I can work on this kind of project here.
Right. Yeah,
I've
which is
always
great.
wanted to do this. I've always
Yeah,
wanted to
yeah.
be a guy that
Yeah.
talks to people.
Mhm. It's
So
fantastic.
people have to realize, like, even if you live and breathe it, don't let it consume you forever.
Oh yeah, no, never let it like take over so that's the thing, you know, preserve the important things. Don't let it alienate family. Don't let it alienate friendships.
And
don't
I
let
did
it
that
steal
for a
your
long
mental
time.
health and emotional health. You know what I mean? Like
It'll be
keep
in
it
the book
within
though.
bounds. Yeah, so take it seriously, but
Yeah.
don't let it break the sacred barriers of, you know, what's really important in life, right?
Me,
Because like
meanwhile,
nobody gets
meanwhile,
to
how
their deathbed and it's like,
uh,
man, I wish I would have put another 12 hours of work in. You know what I mean?
yeah, like, no.
Nobody
Oh,
gets there.
I wish I retired sooner. Is usually the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, exactly.
For me,
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, like, but if I didn't live that, I also wouldn't have the same inspiration to do the book. So at the same time, it's like at
right.
least I learned
A
enough to
healthy
cut myself
balance in all
off.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, healthy balance in all
There's
things.
gaming devil now. I guess she's awake now. Hey, devil.
Hey, Devil. She's fantastic.
So I guess we'll go into a couple other questions that we may have since we have you for a little longer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
If
yeah.
if you were to pick a world to live in the world of gaming, what game would you want to live in?
Oh man, you asking the good questions now.
I saved because this one's always a good one, especially for someone like you who has
Oh
such
yeah,
a great mind for it.
I was gonna say definitely.
Mm, wow. You know what? I feel like I'm gonna end up saying something, and then 3 hours from now, I'm gonna be beating myself up over saying something that I should have
That's
thought more
fine.
about. You know what I mean? But let's see here.
Yeah.
What world would I choose to live in? Golly, the
Orbitals.
game.
No, I
Oh
don't
man,
think
you
you
don't
want
want
to
to live in
live
the
in
I
that
was gonna
world.
Orbitals.
say.
It's not a happy
You're
place to live.
constantly attacked.
It's not a happy place to live. See, because that's the thing. I love questions like this because you really need to think about them and answer them correctly. It's like
Yeah.
people. It's like I love asking the question of like, if you could have a superpower, right? Like, what superpower would you choose, right? And people are always like, oh man, I'd choose Wolverine or I'd choose like this or that. And
You
it's like,
wouldn't. You
yeah,
wouldn't want
but
that.
here's the thing though, like, how often in your current life do you really need those powers? You know what I mean? How
Why do
often
you
would
want to
they
live to be
actually
300
improve
years
your
old to be
yeah, how would they
miserable like
actually
Wolverine?
improve your life? It's like, sure, I'd like healing ability. That'd be fantastic because then you could live a really long time and not have to worry about injuries. But I don't generally need knives coming out of me, right? Or like making fire. I don't
And
want to make
and it
fire.
hurts him every time he takes the
Yeah,
claws
I
out.
don't want to make fire. Like, so it'd be like teleporting sounds pretty great because you can just travel wherever
Yep.
you want to go. Telekinesis, lift things up. You know what I mean? So it always comes down to like practicality.
Well,
Like,
see,
you don't really need to shoot lasers out of your eyes.
see,
Never
here
in
you
my
go.
life have I thought my life would be better if I blasted lasers out of my eyes, right?
Here you
So,
go. Here you go,
Go ahead,
Captain.
Dev.
yeah.
If I could have, I've thought about that question many times, and in honesty, if I had my choice, it'd be teleportation and size manipulation.
Hmm? Size manipulation.
Uh huh.
So you can just
Interesting.
become skinny instantly.
Well, I was talking more about my height, like Ant-Man.
You like grow like
Uh,
giant man and I like shrink down like Ant-Man
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a thing.
yeah, like Ant-Man. You know.
Mm,
be like Kamala Harris, Miss Marvel.
yeah.
Be like a,
That's cool. That's cool. I get that. I say mine has always been a battle between teleportation, like you said, because it's just be amazing if you could just be like, oh, pop over to Paris and buy a baguette, buy a
No,
croissant.
fuck that.
Pop
I
over
want
to,
some. I want
to
some
Berlin.
Mike's.
Yeah,
I want some of Mike's cookies.
there you
Zoop.
go. Yeah, exactly. And just have them. You just pop in and be like, hey, Mike, how's it going, man?
Or
Pop,
better yet,
pop up the
Yeti.
get him. You would have
I
him.
think I would choose telekinesis.
Oh yeah.
Because if you have telekinesis, you've got it all. You can pick yourself up and fly. You
True.
know what I
Do
mean? You can
X-ray
create
vision.
barriers around yourself that bullets can't pass through or whatever. If you get in a car accident, you're just surrounded by a shield of like push energy.
Yeah,
you know
but
what
if
I
I'm
mean?
using telekinesis to fly, I'm not driving.
That's true. Absolutely right.
Like,
Absolutely right. Because I think you could. That's the thing is like if you can lift anything with your mind, that's super strength too. You know what I mean? Pick up
true.
anything you want with it. You know what I mean? Anyway.
But
So,
the question would become, with the strength of your telekinesis and the size of things you lift come with more focus and intelligence and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. Like, what are the drawbacks, right? What are the requirements?
Exactly.
Right?
True. Yeah.
Because people are always like, what if you could fly, but you could only fly as fast as you can run? Would you still want to fly?
Exactly.
Not really, because I can't run that fast.
You're right.
I'd be more like a chicken where I can glide a little bit and land.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think, what world would I choose to live
Because
in?
for me, it'd be like peaceful, and all you're doing is farming and making money off putting random stuff in a bin. And like it's just a peaceful existence, and you don't have to go in the village ever if you don't want to.
Oh my gosh, you know
just
what?
live out there.
See, because here's the thing, like, I'm trying to think, like, in my head, what worlds have I lived in for the longest, you know? Because, like, I've spent a lot of hours in Stardew Valley. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if I could choose, apparently, I really like Stardew Valley. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I can control my environment, I can grow what I want to grow, I can gain wealth from it, I can build relationships with the locals, you know, I like peaceful lifestyle. So I think like, man, I don't know. Let me think. Golly. I really like,
it is a tough one.
It's a tough one, man. That's a really tough one.
Because like, someone said Pokemon, and I'm like, no, you wouldn't, because that shit's scary.
It could be, you know, it could be.
All right, I'll give you an easy one.
Sure.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Oh.
Wait, like, when you say Star Trek or Star Wars, are you saying like which
one
would
is
I
your
choose?
preference?
Like, are you a Trekkie? Or do you go Star Wars?
Okay, so I have to say that I am Star Wars over Star Trek.
Okay.
I am a Star Wars guy over Star Trek, though I have seen every single episode of the Star Trek: The Next Generation multiple times.
I've been watching that too, and I'm like, I love this shit.
So I love Star Trek. I love Star Trek, but I love Star Wars more.
Yeah, I think I like the drama and epicness of
the
fighting.
problem is this: I have to be very careful with how I start this conversation because I could talk about Star Wars for 8 hours. I could teach a college course on Star Wars. Right? I have very strong opinions about Star Wars, and they're not going to necessarily align with probably most people's opinions on Star Wars. But I love Star Wars. I specifically love the original trilogy of Star Wars: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That's my jam. That's my Star. When you say Star Wars, that's what I view as Star Wars.
Are you like I've modern fans where it's just like you just hate new ones just because they're new?
Well, so no, here's the thing. Like, golly, so I gotta be very careful about how I approach this because I'm actually wanting to make like some YouTube videos about this. Like, I actually want to make YouTube videos about this to explain my thought process. But I'm gonna be very, very light in my explanation when I say that the original trilogy was beautiful because it was handled by so many people, and yet reined in by budget. And it was this beautiful little perfect thing wrapped up in a bow, and it was wonderful. And that's why it was held in such regard for so many years.
That guy put everything in one movie, hope for the best.
Part of what made it so great is that there were really talented and creative people who were reining George Lucas in a little bit. And they also had budget restraints that were like, you just can't do that stuff, right? And so they had to get really creative to do the things that they did, right? And it really was a masterpiece, right? George Lucas was this like up and coming shark of a director, right? And a creator. He had great ideas. He had great aspirations. He knew what he wanted to do, and he went for it. He was fantastic. After all of that settled down, and he became a very comfortable old grandpa, he decided that he wanted to make more Star Wars movies, and he didn't want to make them for the world building. He didn't want to make something that built off of his old creations. He literally was just like, oh yeah, I could make more Star Wars movies if I wanted to, because they'll make a lot of money. I can merchandise the crap out of them and I'll get filthy rich, right? And so he made episode 1, 2, and 3, which in my opinion are awful. They're just awful.
They're the worst.
They're just
awful,
the
actual
right?
series.
But I have to be very careful when I say that, because there's a lot of people. There's a generation of people who that was their first exposure to Star Wars,
that was mine.
and they fell in love with the Star Wars world through those movies, right?
Yeah.
So that's not my Star Wars, but it's their Star Wars, right? And so I have to respect that.
It's about the new generation.
Right. And so it's like, okay, so there's that Star Wars, right? And in my opinion, it's a mess, but it's a lot of people love it, right? And I could talk for 6 hours about why it's a mess.
To me, the prequel is Rogue One. That's the real prequel movie.
There you go. Okay, so now Rogue One is, I don't know why, but people crap on Rogue One all the time. Rogue One is the only modern day movie, the Star Wars movie, that I feel gets to be honored by putting in the same category as Empire.
That's the real episode 3.
Yes, it's so good. It's so good. Rogue One is a fantastic movie.
Especially when it ties the end of the movie.
It's a Star Wars movie. It's a Star Wars movie. They finally made a Star Wars movie, so it's great. Kiss it. Wonderful Star Wars movie, right? The next 3 movies, the first one was okay, the second one was awful, the third one was a complete train wreck, and I don't think they really count as Star Wars. That being said, Kylo Ren is one of my favorite characters ever made in the Star Wars world. I love Kylo.
And I think what really hurt the new series is that they changed directors halfway through.
Well, the problem was exactly that.
The third one, he's like, I have to fix it. The guy comes back, he's like, I have to.
Yeah, I could talk. I got to be careful again, because I could talk for 6 hours about this as well. But they brought in. They had a director that they trusted that I think did a great job with the first movie.
One was
His only weakness in the first movie was that he was so scared of messing up that he basically just followed the same formula as A New Hope. Right? That's the only flaw. But that's fine, because he made a lot of characters. He gave them a lot of background seeds, like these background ideas that could be built into, right? So I think if they would have just been like, okay, JJ, you're going to write 3 Star Wars movies, and you need to have a big arc that happens over those 3 movies, go for it. I think he would have done a great job. I really think he would have done a good job.
I think if he did all 3 movies, it would have been way better at the end.
Yeah, he would have done a good job. The problem is then they got a second director.
Who had nothing, who didn't even know Star Wars, really.
Well, he came in and he was like, this is my chance to prove myself. This is my chance to prove myself.
He makes a different movie.
and he's like, I have a completely different idea of where this should be going and the way Star Wars should be handled. So then he just basically severed, he just wanted to cut his film off from the rest of them, right? Believing that he was going to have time to do so. But then when the movie got really, really hashed by critics and fans and stuff, they just went right back to JJ, when poor JJ was like, well, crap, now I have to make the world's most delicious.
I feel for the guy, because he makes amazing movies.
Yeah, and so then he did the best he could, and it was just, he just didn't have enough.
The ending was really good at the end, the passion at the end of it.
They had good passion and things, but just everything, nothing makes any sense at all. And that's the problem.
Adam Driver deserves an Oscar for
and so I personally believe that Kylo Ren was the most powerful Star Wars character probably ever written, in my opinion. But then they just didn't handle him well, right? And so, long story short, I am a Star Wars fanatic. I'm also a Star Trek fan, a big Star Trek fan. But I love Star Wars more than I love Star Trek. Yeah. But at the same time, I don't necessarily see myself. See, I'm the old school. I'm the old guy who just keeps his mouth shut now.
Yep.
Because the problem is that I hold something that was from my generation close to my heart, and I don't have any right to tell people not to hold what they got close to their heart. You know what I mean?
Oh no, doubt.
I think for old school Star Wars, you got Mandalorian now.
Yes, the Mandalorian is fantastic.
Yeah,
the Mandalorian is fantastic. And that's just what I have to hold on to. I hold on to the olden days, and then I go, Star Wars. right? But at the same time, I have to be. So people are like, "Are you a Star Wars fan?" I'm like, "Yeah," and they're like, "Oh, don't you love the this?" And I'm like, "No," but I still love Star Wars, and I'm glad you do too. You know, so
It
that's
still
where
works for
I'm at.
Star Trek too, because like Star Trek Discovery, I think is pretty bad in comparison to the old ones, but it's not the it's still not the worst, and I'm sure there's a generation of people that'll like it because it's for a new generation. But I loved Next Gen so much that I can't just accept Discovery, you know.
See,
Right,
I just
right.
don't watch it.
And there you go. And that's the thing is like the
I don't
problem
complain. I
is
just don't
this
watch.
these shows last for so long. They have such a legacy
yep.
that like you have generations, right? Like you have generations of people who were exposed to different pieces of it. And so that's their version that they get to enjoy. That's what they see, you know? So it really just comes down to like I'm just going to have my opinions and I'm going to hold them to my heart and I'm going to believe in
I
them of what I think makes a good Star Wars movie and I'm just going to let them enjoy what they enjoy and hope that in the future people go for what I think is good, but who says what I think is good is better? It's just me. I just think that, right? So, yeah. But it's hard. It's really, really hard sometimes. It's really hard.
see. I've actually made it a point to watch every episode of every Star Trek.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy,
Yeah, that's bold, man. That's bold.
it's a lot.
That
They
is
teach
a
a lot of
lot.
great lessons though, and a lot of it's still relevant. Like Next Generation still
Yeah.
teaches things
Oh
like
yeah.
radiation and sex, and it's
Yeah.
still relevant to this day.
Next Gen is
Like,
Yep.
fantastic, man. There's so many times in my life where I like reference something that happened in a Next Gen
yeah.
episode, you know, where I think like, oh wow, you know, this is interesting. It really got you thinking
The
about
Orville,
different stuff.
the Orville does a really good job too. I think Seth MacFarlane's such a big fan of it that he does a lot of good old elements to it. Like
I've been wanting to watch that and I
it's good.
haven't. I want
Like
to watch it.
one of the episodes is they actually handled transgendered issues because it gets rid of every single woman. They change the gender of all their babies if they're girls,
Hmm.
and it becomes a trans rights episode. And it's like super serious for a comedy show, but it's
Hmm.
really good. Because Seth MacFarlane loves doing that
Yeah.
and does his own thing with it, and he tips a hat to Star Trek all the time.
Well, see, and that's what Star Trek was all about. Star Trek was about taking concepts and presenting them in a different way for people to think about things in a different way so that they can apply that to their current situation and go, "Oh, wow, maybe I need to think about this a little differently." Instead of just
Yeah,
carrying all my old whatever into it, they
yeah.
kind of present it in a way that it's like, "Oh, yeah, let's talk about racism, but we're not talking about race. We're talking about a robot.
Like
We're talking
things
about
like this
what
cell
makes a
phone
living creature." Yeah.
wouldn't exist without Star Trek.
Yeah, it wouldn't exist. Yeah, the guy
Yeah.
who made the first cell phone said that he built it because he wanted to build a communicator.
Or like things like even like interracial stuff came from the first Star Trek series.
Mm-hmm.
They were the first
It was
ones. In the
it was a
60s
big
and
pioneering
70s.
movement. It's cool. So I tip my hat to Star Trek. I'm
Yeah.
a big Star Trek fan.
What they've done
I
for
reference Star
influence
Trek a
is
lot.
great.
In fact, I feel like I probably talk about Star Trek more than I end up talking about Star Wars, but that's just out of like a fear of
Yeah.
stepping on people at this
I think
point.
part
Well,
of it too, Star Wars is more of an action film.
I
but,
was
like,
gonna
more-
say.
Well, I'm more about
Star
adventure,
Trek
personally.
has more situations that are relatable to real
Yeah.
world
Star Wars is
than.
not really that relatable.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
how
great.
how
It's not relatable the same way.
it's great, but again, how relatable is it to just hear?
Yeah. So I think that was our. I think that was that 20 more minutes there. I got lost the time.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit close. I could maybe do one more question or something. I don't know.
right, we'll
And I
do-
still
we'll do
haven't
one
answered
more
your
wrap
question
up.
about which world I would live in. That's
It
the
was a
thing.
hard
I
one.
feel dumb about it.
No, I wouldn't worry about it. It's fine.
Ah, man, I'm thinking like, golly, I think I might choose the Breath of the Wild world.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Then again, man, it's so hard. I'm gonna have to get back to you. I'm gonna throw this out there. Probably Breath of the Wild. I think that's the thing is I like exploration and adventure. I like
Yeah, me too.
combing through things, and it's approachable in a way that I think I could probably handle. You know, I think that's the thing too. Is I think I would enjoy living in Hyrule. You know,
Yeah.
that's
That's
the
true.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a simple answer. But I think the more complicated answer would probably be like something like Stardew Valley. I think that's the thing is like I like the simplicity and pureness of Stardew Valley. I like the peacefulness of it. And if I was gonna live there and like raise kids there, I would want my kids to be like in a peaceful, safe place.
And
right?
you could like literally pick up a piece a piece of wood and throw it in the bin and get money off of it.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Like, okay, kids, go out and spend 15 minutes watering the garden. You know.
Yeah. That's
So
true.
so basically, Mike's life.
I know, yeah, because I do have a little hobby farm. I do my jams and stuff like that too.
That's awesome.
So
That's
I
awesome.
definitely would be interested in sending those out to people at some point because those are easier to transport.
That's super cool. That's super cool.
I'm taking the summer to figure out my business, and I take time to really do it well. So
Cool, man.
because baking season is really slow in the summertime anyway, so I'm gonna take my time to reevaluate it.
Do it up, man. Do it up.
Yeah.
That's great.
Do more shipping now that I know it works.
Yeah, it works. Yeah. Those cookies are delicious, dude. I'm serious. I ate so many of those things.
It's great.
I was like, well, I guess the diet's done for today because I'm gonna eat this whole tin, like
Boy,
this whole.
Who says no to free cookies?
Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah, who says no to free cookies?
Deb, I'll send you the cookies. I'll make sugar free for you, Dev.
Sure, go for it,
I could try. I could try things and stuff like that.
dude. I have no problem being your guinea pig.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
There you go. You have a diabetic option too.
Yeah, exactly. I will wrap up with this then with a fun one. It might be a bit easier. Have you ever had a favorite video game crush?
A favorite video game crush? Oh gosh, yeah, okay.
Hold on
Now
now. Hold on. Wait. I was gonna say, hold on now. The wife's
On my channel, you know mine.
the
Yeah,
wife.
no, it's okay.
The wife isn't
It's a
in
video
earshot, right?
No, yeah.
It's a video game. It's
She's
okay.
okay. That's okay. That's one of those things when you're in a secure relationship, you can look each other in the face and just be like, "Who was your crush when you were like a kid?" You know what I mean? That's the funny thing. We used to joke about that. Like, I've never really had like a movie star crush. You know what I mean? Where people like a Hollywood actress,
Keanu
or something
Reeves.
that I've like been involved with or whatever. I always had crushes on people like, oh gosh, why can't I? Of course, I'm trying to think
I
of her
had pro
name.
wrestlers. I had Trish
Like-
Stratus. I love.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, right on, man. That's great. You like a strong woman. That's awesome.
Yeah. No. For me, it was
Mine
always.
was always like Soki from Avatar: The Last Airbender or something like that. You know what I mean? It's
Okay.
like, they're never real people.
Her one's probably like, and if you see on my channel, it's a lot of Harley Quinn.
There you go.
Don't
I love
mind the
Harley
bat
Quinn. I always
boner.
love Harley Quinn. Yeah.
What were you saying, dude?
He's like, don't mind the bat boner.
There-
He's just quoting me.
Yeah.
Gaming Devil has a whole folder on her soundboard dedicated to
Most of
Mike.
it's me drilling over Harley.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it. That's hilarious.
But
Yeah, I can see that. I was always more of a Catwoman guy than a Harley Quinn guy. to be
Catwoman's
honest
great
with
too.
you.
Honestly, most
But I like
Batman
the
girls are
the
good.
animated series Catwoman. Like,
I was
whenever
gonna
they try
say-
to do a live action
Yes,
Catwoman,
that's
it's
true.
never right.
I was gonna say, for
They
me,
never do
it
it right in live
depended
action.
on the Catwoman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like,
See, like the
live
the,
action Harley with Margot Robbie is fine.
Right.
But,
The thing
the
is
cartoon one's
like,
really good too. 'cause the voice
yeah.
acting is
The,
also
see, the thing,
fantastic.
like, man, yeah. For me, it was always like the so like I think they did a really great job with the Catwoman in the Arkham series, like the Arkham Knight, Arkham
Yep,
City
I agree.
stuff. She was
Yep.
perfect, right? But mine was the Batman the animated TV series,
Mhm.
Catwoman, right? But when it comes to video game crushes, golly, I had a huge crush on Tifa from Final Fantasy VII.
Every single person we've had on.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Is it's like, that's a pretty straightforward one, right? Like Tifa from Final Fantasy VII was like a pretty big crush for me. I also had like the Legend of Zelda was like Ocarina of Time was like the game I needed in high school, right? Like it was the one that like got me through some hard times, you know what I mean? So I always had I had a crush on like several characters in that one, but it was I think her name is Milan. She's the daughter of the the dairy farmer that you buy your horse from in Ocarina of Time.
Oh, okay.
I had a crush on her too. She was just so kind and nice. You know what I mean?
True.
She was so kind and genuine
Yep.
and nice, and yeah.
Yuri, Yang is number 2 waifu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Trying to
that's
go
fair.
back.
Tifa's a good one though.
Trying to
That's
go
good.
back, but I think if I
It's
were
hard.
to
It's
pin
hard
it
to
down,
top that one, I think.
yeah. That's the thing too, is like I never like I played Final Fantasy VII, right? Like I played it all the way through, right? And everybody's always like, "Oh yeah, Tifa was nice and everything," but Aerith, oh
never been
man, you
into
fall in
cartoons.
love. I've never really felt it for her. You know what I mean? Like it was always like I never understood what Cloud was thinking. You know, like, dude, you know, Tifa's everything. Like she's kind, she's brave, she's like supportive of him. She's there for him all the time. Like she's always there for him. She's always got his back.
That's true. Yeah.
She's constant. She's never. You know what I mean? She's like, she's this incredible character, and everybody just kind of dismisses her because, you know, because of two obvious main reasons, right? But the thing is it's like there's a real great personality behind Tifa. Behind the obvious bonuses, you know what I mean? So anyway,
that's a fair answer. I think it's
The
the most
obvious
nuance we've had on that.
bonuses.
mm-hmm.
Well,
I'm a simple man.
I think
I'm
that
a
it,
simple man.
no.
Me too. Me too.
I just love the way you put it.
Yeah, tactfully, right?
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you for coming on, Space.
My pleasure.
I'm so happy we finally had you on.
Oh, my pleasure.
Now,
this has been fun.
Now,
it's been
Space.
Fun hanging out with you. You guys are cool. You guys are cool. I'm having a good time hanging out.
Space.
Buy his game?
Oh, we're definitely gonna buy his game.
Thank you.
Like, I want
follow him on Twitch.
I want to like have like heads up notice of when it's gonna drop, so like I can have the money and be like one of the first people.
You
I'm
got
sure
it.
he'll drop it on his Discord.
You got. I will keep you in. I will keep you in the loop. Yeah,
Perfect.
no worries, man.
Oh.
Yeah, no worries.
We can't wait, Space.
I appreciate that. I'm really glad to hear that.
And
I
another
really hope so.
another thing that we do is we have our guest direct the raid.
Oh.
So if you can give us
man.
a target.
Yeah. Jeez. Okay. Here, let me.
Just
let me pull
type it
up
into
some
the-
stuff.
Type it in the
Let me pull up
chat.
some stuff and see.
And if you
Let's see
like
here.
Dev and you're sitting in the chat, and if you're like, say you're here for Space and you like Dev, follow Dev.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of me, go to the Chef Mike for what I
Share
do.
the
with my
love.
stuff.
Devil
Share
can
it.
shout out the chef
We all
Mike.
connected together. We all
Let's
connected
see.
together.
Okay. So let's see here.
But yes,
Down my list.
so
And next week we're supposed to have Yuri on.
we're gonna have Popcat.
And we're gonna have the Popcat on.
All right, which
I think
means
it's gonna be a lot of fun too. He's already appeared a little bit with us with wrestling. He's gonna be a part of our wrestling panel too when we do those.
yep.
So
Come on, Clips. No, it was the weird stare down between the Edge and Brock.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
it's not one of my thirsty ones for once.
No, that's weird. Usually mine.
It's usually me zooming up Cartman's skirt.
Yeah.
Oh my
That comes
gosh.
up. Yeah, because it's a camera mode in Batman, and I kind of zoomed up and forgot I was streaming.
You're like,
Yeah,
oh
and I
wait.
just walked away.
Is
The
it
devil
hiding
clipped
here? Is it?
immediately.
Oh, people are watching me.
Mike,
Mostly Devil and Lux, to be honest.
what's your
awesome.
planned schedule for this week?
I'll be back probably towards next weekend. On Saturday night, I'm probably gonna do one. Yeah, pretty much. Monday night, I'll be on like around midnight, maybe 1 o'clock, to do some Batman Arkham City, because everyone likes
Cool.
my Batman stuff. I'll keep doing it. And there's more
Very
girls
cool.
for me to be thirsty for, because it's Talia al Ghul as Catwoman,
Oh, there you go, man.
or Poison Ivy. There you go.
Boom.
So Space, who do you got?
I got Epic Chris, man. We got to go to my boy Epic Chris.
Sure.
He's great. He's great. He's playing some Warhammer right now.
Ah,
he's a
Chris.
great dude. Yeah, send us over that way.
we will go to Chris. He is great.
Hey, you guys, it's been a real pleasure being here with you tonight. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
I'm
it. I've had a
glad
lot
to
of
have
fun
you on.
hanging out. The time went by so fast, I couldn't believe it. I
You know
remember
what? Maybe
before
once
I
the
was
game
like,
drops,
how am I going to talk to these guys for like 2 hours? I'm an idiot. They're going to find out how dumb I am.
No, man. I thought you
You're
were
like,
probably
"Geez."
one of the most insightful guests
I was
we've
gonna
had.
say
So
smarter than I am.
you should see our previous episodes. It's just pure chaos usually.
Oh yeah.
So
I was gonna say I think this was actually one of the most
it's one of
well
our most
composed
tame
episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Right
Yeah,
on.
we didn't even bring up Mike and his favorite subject.
No, that's fine. So hopefully when the game drops, we'll have you back on again, Space.
Yeah, yes, please. I'll come back anytime you'll have me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for working with my schedule.
Oh, no problem.
Definitely.
We have no issues with that.
All right. Well,
But
cool.
Sure, we never have a problem with it.
So, but Space, when's your next stream?
Oh man, that's the real question, isn't it?
Usually your Wednesdays, right?
Yeah, usually. So every single Wednesday I play with my buds. That's just like the dude's game night. So I always stream that. I've had some. Looks like my streaming situation has been fixed. So I had a couple of problems a little bit later, but usually I stream like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays ish kind of a thing. But so probably Wednesday is the safest bet, I'd say.
Alright.
Yeah.
And
When are you gonna be back on, Dev?
I'm actually gonna be playing some more Kirby on Tuesday, about 2 p.m. Eastern. Like
Nice.
pretty much for the next couple of streams, you gotta get Kirby, just because I want to
Cool.
beat it.
Yeah, that's great.
And then
Well, you can
Friday,
find us
I'll
all
watch
there
that.
the next week.
I'm gonna say, and Friday I'm gonna go back to Digimon.
Great.
But Mike, any parting words?
What you've learned here today was actually very insightful. If you have a dream and you want to do it, there's no better time than doing it now. Go in and just do it. Get it done. And if you have a good support system, you should definitely do it. I think it's what we learned today from Space, and we appreciate that.
Yeah. Space, any final thoughts?
I'm really glad to have been able to hang out with you guys. Yeah, like, live your dreams, guys. Like, fortune favors the bold. That's, like, the most important thing I've learned in life is fortune favors the bold. If you want something to happen, you gotta go for it. And you'd be surprised often. That's the thing. It's like people talk about with streaming. Like, I never thought people would watch me. You know what I mean? And now all of a sudden people are. Like, go for it. Just give it a try. You'll be surprised how cool
And you have
people
people saying they want more watching you.
Right? Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
Hey, I
But,
never thought
yeah,
I'd
live
make
your
us.
dreams. Be the heroes you want to be. You know what I mean? Be the hero that you want to be. It's the now is the time. You know. And yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
great.
Yeah. So, we are gonna go raid Epic Chris. Stick around for the raid. We appreciate you all that came out, hung out. Definitely appreciate Space for being on with us tonight. You are an amazing man. Those wonderful tidbits of wisdom. And I guess, like I said, I will be back Tuesday with some more Kirby in the Forgotten Land. So, till then, stay happy, stay healthy. If it's legal to do so, stay high. And fortune favors the bold. What more is there to say? Alright.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Have a good time. Bye.